Hey MVPs, Rico Knows here. Going to talk to you guys about March Madness. So Tuesday's free, y'all. I'm hooking you up. This is a video for everybody. I might do a lot of March Madness videos for free. Just a heads up. But if you look at the matchups for the start of, it's on Tuesday. We got two games here. They're the play-in games. So technically it's the two lowest at-large bids and then the two lowest automatic qualifiers. That's kind of how it works. So when you see these two 16 seeds here, you have Wagner and Howard. Neither team was supposed to be in March Madness. They did a crazy run in their conference tournaments and they got to March Madness. You see their overall record. 16 wins, not good. 18 wins, not good. But when you go and assess the roster and the talent they have, I'm telling you that Howard, theoretically, is more talented than Wagner. They really are. Howard is more talented than Wagner, so we say. And you see it here, and you can see it. Vegas says -3.5 for Howard. I believe that. That sounds pretty good. And then the over, or the total, is 127.5. One thing to think about for Wagner. Wagner has been terrible for the majority of the season. They were playing okay, no big deal, getting beat in their conference, and then they found a way to go through the conference and win. Now, this conference they play in, not very respected. Remember, Fairleigh Dickinson won as a 16 seed. They just don't think very highly of certain teams. I think Purdue lost to them last time. But they don't think very highly of them, and then they got into conference play. And when they got into conference play, they were underdogs by over 6 points in every single game. And they still found a way to win. But they kept thinking these guys are going to lose. These guys are going to lose. Like they're playing Merrimack in the championship, and they had already beaten Merrimack. Didn't matter. They were underdogs by 6 because they lost right here by 14 or 16. It doesn't matter. They got it done. They figured it out, and they got a way to win. The really cool thing about Wagner is they have a lot of rest. They have not been grinding out these games like you think. If you go back and look, and you go in here and we just do these last 3 games. Let's go last 3. Look at the date on these games. If you find it, where's the date right here? Look at that, March 6th. March 6th. They're not making them play much. What's today's date? Today's the, what is that, the 16th? 18th? Is today the 18th? Is that crazy? So the 18th. So the 6th is the last time they played this game. So in 12 days. When was this one played? The 9th. They got their legs rested, bro. Look at this one. The 12th. This is when they qualified for the tournament. On the 12th. They've been resting for a whole week. The same can't be said about Howard. Howard, with their 7-man rotation, number one. If you go look at Howard stats-wise, right? If we go look at their stats, Howard typically plays in the way you know what kind of rotation they have. If you're looking at their games played, no, look at their minutes and just try to figure out who's near the top, right? And we know that's 5 guys, and then they're in the rotation. They got some other guys here in the rotation. Okay. The point is who's really scoring for Howard? Who's really scoring for Howard? They have 3 guys that can score, and that's pretty decent, right? Marcus Dockery, I have it up here. Where are they at? Marcus Dockery, he's a transfer coming over from Maryland. Shout out to him. Couldn't play much at Maryland, balling out at Howard. Okay, Seth Towns is the other leading scorer. He was at Harvard, Ohio State. But remember, when he was at Harvard, he could actually score points. So this is a good guy. This is a 6'9" kid with experience. I like Seth Towns a lot. And then they have a homegrown kid, born and raised, straight out of Howard, going nowhere else. He's been playing here the whole time, and he's balling out this year. Shout out to Bryce Harris. I think Bryce Harris hits the transfer portal, okay? It's just the way it goes nowadays. But he's scoring 16 points a game. He's their leading scorer. They were a 4th seed in their conference tournament. They were not scrubs. It's not a miracle they made it to the dance or anything like that. But what is a miracle is if they find a way to win. And it'll be great. You see this here. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 9 of their last 11 games. They're on a tear. 9 out of their last 11 games. It's easy to think they're going to win this game. But when you go back and check how many of these games have they been playing in the last week, it's not like Wagner. It's not the way Wagner's been resting. Okay, if we go back and check these dates, all these games are played recently. The 14th. They've had no rest. The 15th. It's just no rest for these boys. 16th. Game after game after game. They just played their championship. So if you just played your championship the other day and you've been playing all these games back to back to back, I think your legs are tired. Now you might get excited for the tournament and they might go out there and ball. But for me, I think their legs are tired. I don't think they're going to have the advantage you'd anticipate just because they've been playing this many games back to back to back. And Wagner's over here resting, recuperating, getting ready. They're not going to be tired. They're ready to do this. I believe it'll make a difference in the second half. Now, after I assess the teams and their abilities to score, Howard has a ton of scores. You know, they have 3 guys averaging over double digits. They actually have a high-scoring team. They average like 80 points a game or something crazy. So when I go look at this matchup and I check the books, the first thing I think is over-under is 140 for that game, and it comes out at 128.5. You think they're going to get tired legs to that extent? I like the over a ton. I do. I like the over. We're not sure who's winning the game. I feel like Wagner doesn't belong in the game. It'll take a miracle for Wagner to beat Howard. At least that's how I feel. So I like money line, but I also like the over in this game. Look at these odds after two different selections here, okay? I'm at 427 on this parlay right now. And then the next matchup is Colorado State and Virginia, and I just hate Virginia for a lot of reasons. Shout out to the ACC. There are people out there who think the ACC is better than Mountain West. This matchup will let us know. Straight up. I don't know who's winning the game. I do know 120 is way too low. I've looked at Colorado State, and Colorado State under 60 points has happened like 5 times all season. It's not happening, man. They score, and they score a lot. I like the way they score. Hell, Montana State scores a lot of threes too. But I'm looking right here. I'm going to stay focused. 120 just seems too low. And I know it's because Virginia's half-court offense, they slow the game down. They take up the full shot clock. They're terrible on offense. I get it. Virginia, we're looking at them. They're like, man, they're only 55 points. Well, if you think Virginia's winning, they're going to have to score more than 60 if you think they're winning. And if they're not winning, Colorado State's going to score more than 60. I just feel like 120, I like the over in this if I have to take anything. But I'm not an expert in this regard. I'm just letting you know that for me, this first game really intrigues me. I feel like Howard is the better team. If I had to pick money lines, I do like Colorado State and I do like Howard. But that comes out to 172. There's no point if you can pick the overs and hope for a lot of scoring between the two teams. I like rooting for baskets. I don't like rooting for sloppiness. I like rooting for baskets, and I like the over on both these games. 128 and 120 seems a little low for them. So that's my recommendation for this game. But just be aware, when I break down teams and matchups, I go look at it and I go, man, Howard should be scoring like crazy on Wagner, but they might not blow him out because of their tired legs, because they played so many games and they haven't had the rest that Wagner has had. So we're going to get Wagner at 100% and Howard at about 90, 80%, right? So just from a fatigue standpoint. All right, play style standpoint, Howard's got a leading score that's 6'9", and Wagner does not match up well with that. I'm just letting you know. So I do like Howard to score more, or at least both teams to get there. I think Howard's going to probably score 70 by themselves. 70 or 80 by themselves. So think about that over. I do like these two overs. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Good luck, y'all.